We're talking about the 15 things, according to ChatGPT, that they said most people don't know that could actually be saving them money and helping them get into home ownership. So make sure you tune in this week and next week if you want to catch what all 15 are. We're going to be going through the first 7 this week, next 8 next week. So let's get into it. I reached out to ChatGPT because I was interested to see what answers I would receive. And this is what I asked. What are some of the most unknown secrets that could help people save money or help people qualify to purchase a home? And give me 15 examples. ChatGPT did exactly that. They gave me 15 examples, and we're going to go through those 15 secrets, tips, tactics, if you will, coming straight from ChatGPT. And I'm going to dive a little bit into each one of them, just a little bit, because I want to try and get through all 15 so that you can at least get a taste of some of the things that a lot of people are unaware of that can really help you qualify to be able to purchase a home. So jumping straight into it, moving on to number 1, use non-taxable income to your advantage. If you don't know what non-taxable income is, it is income that does not get taxed. So this is income such as VA disability income, Social Security income. Now, Social Security income could possibly be taxed depending upon how much income you make as a whole if you're receiving Social Security. But a lot of people also receive Social Security and it's completely not taxed. So with that non-taxable income, it can help you because a mortgage lender can gross that income up, meaning that they can actually count more than what you actually receive to help you qualify for that mortgage. For example, let's say that you're receiving $1,000 a month in Social Security income that's not taxable. A mortgage lender can gross that up, let's say 15%. So instead of them counting your mortgage as, or not mortgage, rather than counting your income to be $1,000 a month for that Social Security, they can actually count your income to be $1,150 per month, $1,150 per month. And so that's something that can help you qualify because by grossing up your income, that non-taxable income, they can actually count more money than what you actually receive to help you qualify for that mortgage. And they do that to help put you on par with people whose income is taxed. Because if you have income that's taxed, a mortgage lender uses the gross, meaning that we count the income that you receive before taxes. Well, if you have income that's not taxed, that means that you're automatically getting counted at a lower amount. So we gross it up. Let's say you can gross it up 15%. Some cases you can gross it up 25%. And that puts you on a level with someone who's receiving gross income that is taxed. So that's why they do that non-taxable income. But that's number 1. We got to speed it up a little bit so we can make sure we get through all 15. Moving on to the next one. Get a co-signer or non-occupant co-borrower. You can have someone else on the loan to help you qualify for the loan. So maybe you don't qualify for the home that you really want to purchase. Get a co-signer, get a co-borrower, a non-occupant co-borrower, if you will. That means someone who's not living in the home. Yes, you can actually have a co-borrower or a co-signer who does not live in the home with you, and that individual can still help you qualify for the mortgage. They don't have to live there. One of you has to live in the home. And if you're living in the home that you want to purchase for yourself, obviously you can have someone else who's not going to live in the home, but they can still help you qualify for the mortgage. They're just going to be signing on to be responsible for that loan. And so that's one tip that you have. That's number 2. So moving on to number 3, you can use boarder income or roommate rent. So boarder income, roommate rent, basically what it is that let's say you have a home and you have rooms that are being rented out, or you have an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit, an apartment, if you will. Let's say you have an apartment over the garage, or your basement in the house is going to be set up like an apartment. You can actually use the rent that's being received in that accessory dwelling unit, or the rent that will be received once you purchase that home, to count towards your income to help you qualify for the mortgage. That's something that can be hugely beneficial. So utilizing that boarder income or that roommate rent that you're going to be receiving can help you qualify for that mortgage that you might not otherwise be able to qualify for. And in these increased home price times where you're going to need to make more money or show more income somehow, this is one of those ways that can help you accomplish that. Moving on to number 4, qualify with future income. What in the world is future income? Well, future income is income that you have not received yet, but you will be receiving it in the future. Let's say, for example, that you're just changing jobs into a new job, or you just got out of school and you're entering into the workforce for the first time. So let's say that you have not started working on that new job yet, or you just started working, but you haven't received that first paycheck yet. a mortgage lender can still use income that you're going to be receiving from that job to pre-approve you for that loan. So let's say, for example, that you have an offer letter and that offer letter states how much you're going to be receiving in salary. A lender can base your entire pre-approval just based on that offer letter. Same thing as if, you had an offer letter that says you're going to be making this much an hour and you're guaranteed 40 hours a week. A lender can utilize that to determine how much you can qualify to purchase a home, and that can allow you to go ahead and start shopping for a home, get under contract for a home before you actually start that job or before you actually receive that paycheck. And then when you are under contract, going through all of the process and everything, then you receive that first paycheck and then you're able to close on your home. But this is something that allows you to go ahead and get started on that home ownership journey without having to wait on that first paycheck to start rolling in. So moving on to number 5, count side hustle income. Now there's a couple caveats with this that you'll need to know about, and I'll get into those briefly. But what I will say first is that if you have a side hustle, you can utilize that income to help you qualify to purchase a home. So a lot of people, especially today, have their primary job, but then on the side, they're doing either a second W-2 job or they're doing, they've got a LLC that they set up and they've got a side hustle that they're working. Well, you can utilize that income. 2 caveats that you need to be aware of. One of them is that you need to have had that side hustle in most cases for at least 2 years. Most mortgage lenders are going to want to see that you've had that job, that second job, that side hustle, if you will, for at least 2 years. That's going to be the first thing. Some will go a little bit less than 2 years. Most want to see at least 2 years. The second thing is that income needs to show up somewhere. For example, let's say if it's a W-2 job, then you're going to need to be able to provide W-2s and pay stubs for that second job, that side hustle. If it's not a W-2 job, maybe you're self-employed or you're working a 1099, then a mortgage lender is going to want to see that income shows up on your tax returns. That's the part that gets a lot of people. A lot of people like to have those side hustles, but they don't want to claim the taxes on them because they don't want to pay Uncle Sam all of that tax money from making all the extra money on their side hustle. Well, a mortgage lender can't help you out. I get it. I understand. I don't like paying all that money to the government in taxes either. However, a mortgage lender cannot help you qualify to purchase a home if that income does not show up somewhere. And so if it's a self-employed income or 1099, you're going to have to show those tax returns. And if you don't claim that side hustle money on the tax returns, it can't help you to be able to qualify for a mortgage. But if you do claim it on your tax returns and you've been working that side hustle for at least 2 years, then you've got a really good shot at being able to include that to help you qualify for a bigger purchase price. So moving on to number 6, down payment assistance. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one because down payment assistance is something that a lot of people know what it is. Basically, you're getting assistance to help cover the down payment and possibly some of the closing costs as well, depending upon the down payment assistance program. Now, with that, depending upon the down payment assistance program, that will determine a lot of the terms of the down payment assistance, if you will. Some programs have higher interest rates, some have lower, some have higher closing costs, some have lower closing costs, some have a lot of money that they're going to give you for down payment assistance, and some have, more reasonable amount, an average amount, I guess you could say, for whatever it would be average for your area. But in any case, how much you're going to be receiving in down payment assistance, what you're going to have to pay in closing costs, what your interest rate is going to be, is going to widely differ based on the down payment assistance program. So you need to be asking those questions to your mortgage lender. How much am I going to receive? How much are my closing costs going to be? How much is my interest rate going to be? You want to know the answers to all of these questions and more. You should be asking more questions than that. But again, I'm trying to go quickly here so we can get through all 15 of these things. But make sure you're asking those questions so that you can make the best decision for you when it comes to down payment assistance. Moving on from there to number 7, ask the seller to pay your closing costs. I don't think I need to spend much more time than that on there because it is what it states. You're asking the seller to pay your closing costs. Closing costs are one of those 2 big upfront expenses when it comes to purchasing a home. The first one is down payment, which we just covered with down payment assistance. The second big upfront expense is closing costs, which includes just about everything else that you're going to pay when it comes to closing on that home. We're talking about taxes, insurance. We're talking about origination fees, attorney fees, discount points if you're paying any discount points. I wrap all of that stuff into closing costs. And so if you closing costs are something that the seller can cover. They can cover 100% of those closing costs. So if you find a seller that's being very generous, or maybe you know how to negotiate, I'm not going to get into how you can negotiate in this broadcast right now, but if you find a seller and you're able to negotiate, or you find a seller that's just being very generous, really wanting to get their home off the market, and they're able to pay for all of your closing costs, that's going to be something that can really help you be able to qualify for that home. We made it through the first 7. Hopefully that's been beneficial for you. Make sure you're tuning in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Tuesdays, Home Finance Hacks. We're going to be going through 8 through 15. So you're going to want to find out what those next 8 things are that are on the list. And make sure you're tuning in on Fridays. We drop an episode of the Greatest Asset Community podcast every Friday. Me and Jilly are bringing the heat. I'm telling you, we're having some discussions that you're going to want to hear, talking about some things with housing, with real estate that could help you save money, could help you save time, and accomplish your home ownership journey, accomplish your home ownership goals even quicker as well. So until next time, that's what I have for you. Take care, be blessed, and we'll see you next week.